Hey, South Point Church, thank you for joining me for another episode of the new series that we're doing called Body Armor. I am so excited about this. It's been incredible for me personally to study this, and we're in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6. We're going to go through, eventually we'll go through 10 through 18, and today I'd like to focus on verse 13, and it says this: "Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground, and after you have done everything, to stand." Paul uses the exact same phrase in verse 13 as he does in verse 11. This whole armor, put on the whole armor, the complete armor of God. It's the same thing in verse 11. And again, if you remember from last week, if you were watching, if not, it's okay. Everything you need to wage successful warfare. That's both your offensive and defensive weapons. Paul is telling us to put on all of that, the completeness, both offensive and defensive weapons, the full resources that we have that God gives us. So put on the full armor of God so that when, not if, when the day of evil comes. And that day of evil is so interesting because the day means from sunrise to sunset. And evil, the way that he phrases it, that word evil means pain-ridden, laborious, and it emphasizes this phrase, this idea of inevitable agonies. And I love how he kind of brings that thought into it. From sunrise to sunset, you are going to go through inevitable agonies. It's not an option of if the days of evil come. It's not an option of you might go through something today. It's a matter of when. Put on the complete armor of God, the full resources that God gives us, because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when it's going to happen. So when it happens, our job is to withstand so that we can stand. And those words are so interesting in the Greek. To withstand is anti-stene, and to stand is stene. We know that anti means opposite. So to withstand means to strongly resist an opponent. It's a military term, to fight against. We put on the full armor of God so that when the days of evil, when this inevitable agony comes, we can take opposition and fight against it. And then he says, when you've done all of that, then you have the ability, after you withstand, to stand, or to stand with each other. We stand, that means to stand ready, almost to set a balance, to be balanced. Now, how is it that we can do that? Because when we fight against an enemy, we stand not because of who's in front of us, we stand because of who is standing behind us, who is fighting with us on our side. Not just together, but we've got God on our side. Amen? I pray that this word encourages you today. Share it with somebody who's going through something, that it may encourage them as well. Know that we love you, we're praying for you, and we'll see you this Sunday.